Well, hello YouTube. Time for a short podcast this week. Following up my initial review of Hell on Wheels, I just finished watching episode 2, and I'm liking this show. It was very suspenseful. Part of it's probably that it's still very early on in the season, so you don't know who's going to still be around, which I think was why it's really nice watching these first few episodes in this really suspenseful show, because we saw last episode the the architect, who at first seemed like he'd probably be a major character, was killed. But so you don't know which of these characters are going to be killed off fairly quickly. I mean, we get the idea that Cullen and Durant and probably Elam, I keep on forgetting how they say his name. They are all the main cast, but even so, I was kind of wondering what the hell they were gonna do with Bohan right there. At first, thought he was gonna get the job, which the man he didn't kill. Uh, Elam killed him last week. Spoiler. But yeah, they really kind of went through this whole him gonna be hanged for the murder. Ironically, the one murder he didn't commit, though he was planning on doing it. And I love how they resolved it. How he's escaping the plant, and how he just had the ideal to just go to Durant's personal car and demand, or not demand, but request the job of what's his name that was killed last week. A character I already forgot his name of. Well, let's call him Detective Stottlemeyer's old job. And I love fucking Colin Meaney's response to that. He's like, how do you put your pants on, son? What? With those big balls of yours. His character continues to steal every scene he's in. I think Durant's becoming probably everybody's favorite character. There's not a scene where he is in healthy there. Ooh. That he does not chew the scenery and steal the scene, and you love watching this character. There's very first time we see him in this episode, he's telling the Chicago Tribune reporter that's in there to take all the bodies and take more pictures of the bodies, really trying to pump up the sensation. And normally, going back to the ending, normally you would kind of be suspended, like have your suspension of disbelief broken if you're like, this guy was accused of murder and the foreman came in and asked for his job while he's a fugitive, essentially. But with this character, you completely buy it that he would not really give a shit about if this guy killed him or not. You completely buy that this character would do something like this. So it works, despite the ridiculous over-the-topness of it. They have the ideal of very easily being forgiven of a murder charge, which everyone is pretty certain he did. You buy that this guy would not care. You're pretty sure he's not care, as he's re-sticking in arrows into corpses so they make better pictures for his propaganda. Also, certainly, we have two new characters I should talk about that were introduced. One, we have a Christian Indian. Interesting introduction there. It's a bit of a mold breaker, because normally in westerns they really don't show what was a huge number of the Indians who converted to Christianity. They tend to be kind of a neglected group when it comes to westerns. So it's interesting to see the dynamic that this character has with his fellow Indians. He's really the bridge gap between the two worlds, where he, as we saw, he does not let Lily get killed. He saves her from the other group, but he's not necessarily disapproving. He kind of says, when he finds the other group of Indians, he does go, or Native Americans, I should say, to be politically correct. He does go up to them and says, killing white men is one thing. Doing that to a white woman, no. So he really does seem to be a character that's straddling both sides. Again, I forgot his name. I think they mentioned it really quickly. Right now, he's this Christian Indian. But it's interesting. He's also connected with the. It appears from the previews for next week's episode that he is connected with the pastor that let uh, Bohanna escape. Basically, did the whole Quasimodo sanctuary thing. The other new character, who's another really fun and interesting character for this show, is the Swede, who is actually Norwegian. That would be the name people would give people. They actually had this. They had the same joke in the Thing, actually, where they keep on calling the Norwegian Swedes. But very interesting character. Very good at introducing him. He's basically the head of security for the railroad there. Seems to be a complete psychopath. His squeezing the Irish brothers out of money, basically running a protection racket. But he also has an extremely interesting backstory where he was, he revealed that he was, during the war, he was just a clerk, but he wound up getting captured and sent to Andersonville. And if anyone's familiar with Andersonville, it basically was a concentration camp. It wasn't intended to be, but that's what it basically turned into. Overall, I think I love the direction of this series. I'm really loving the characters. They keep on introducing new characters. And certainly had the tension. I mean, with the whole Bohanna, I mean, I thought that for the rest of the series he was going to be like a fugitive from the railroad. And I'm like, how are they going to keep him connected? Because the idea with this series is it's really connected to the railroad. So I was wondering how the hell they're going to work that in with him, but him now becoming foreman makes incredible amount of sense. It really does flow right in with what you want to see. Now it's more clear how all the characters will interact with each other. How you have him as foreman, he now has direct contact with Durant, I should say. You can see how these two characters are going to be interacting with each other. There's still the whole, obviously the plot is continuing with Lily's character, who she's now also connected with our Christian Indian. Who I think I'm looking at the IMDb page. I'm pretty sure his name is going to be Joseph Blackmoon. That, again, they didn't really say his name, or they might have, but I didn't really hear it. So I'm guessing that's him. But you can see the connection between him. He apparently has a connection with the camp, so you're starting to see these characters become intertwined. We'll see how the Swede character lasts. I have a feeling he's not going to be in there, even though he's an extremely interesting character. I think he's only going to be in there for a few episodes, and then they're going to wind up killing him. That's my prediction on it. I could be wrong. We could see the Irish brothers there. I could get their comeuppance. And as you can see, I'm feeling quite well tonight. Other than that, love this series. I continue to watch it. I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it, although I'm assuming most people watching this episode 2 review probably have seen it. I don't want to get into any themes or any of that stuff. One, because I'm kind of tired. As you can tell, I'm a little sick. But also, I think we should wait at least till a third episode before we really start seeing some clear plot threads. After all, we are still being introduced to new characters. That's it for now. Signing off.